What is going on, guys? So I've been traveling through Sri Lanka for a little bit now, and let me tell you what I've seen so far. So after taking a flight around 9 a.m. I arrived in Sri Lanka, jumped on a taxi, and basically went straight to the first place, which was Kandy. I highly recommend not doing that because the taxi was around 2,500 rupees, and this was with 4 people, which is roughly $20 Canadian. Or you could just jump on the train, and the train was like 220 rupees, which was $3 Canadian. I had no idea at the time, so I made that mistake. Don't make the same mistake as I do, guys. Learn from me. But you see the difference, right? 23, it's big. Anyways, off to the next thing. So after I got to Kandy, I basically grabbed a hostel and did some exploring around all of Kandy. I did that for about half a day, and then after that I jumped on another bus straight out to Nuwara Ella, which was amazing. The views were absolutely stunning. It was crazy beautiful. The bus cost around 120 rupees, which was not too bad, and that was for regular. So I traveled for about 5 hours, and for about $1.20, I think it was a pretty good deal. And Nuwara Ella was unbelievable. I went to this tea plantation place and got a nice little surprise from a leech, which was magical. Not fun. Wear shoes, guys. Not sandals. Not Crocs. Don't make the same mistake as me. That's 2 mistakes in a very short amount of time. After that, I basically just headed back to my hotel, which was kind of different. I stayed in basically like a hotel hostel thing with a family, and the Wi-Fi was a little poor. I mean, throughout Sri Lanka, the Wi-Fi is not the greatest, so keep that in mind. But the family there was super, super nice. It was about 700 rupees, so about $6 Canadian, so I couldn't really complain. But it was kind of a sketchy place, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Sri Lanka is still new to the whole backpackers vibe, not so much like a tourist vibe, so you have to keep that in mind as well. After that, I ended up getting a bus to Kandy so that I could jump on the train from Kandy to Ella, which is the most scenic ride in the world for a train ride. Some of you guys might know that. If you don't, you do now. And it was amazing, guys. Some of the most unbelievable landscapes I've ever seen in my entire life. We explored right through the mountains, basically just came down into the villages and everything else. But once we got to Ella, Ella is essentially like the hippie place of all of Sri Lanka. It's equivalent to Pai in Thailand, if you guys have been to Pai. If you haven't, hit up Pai in Thailand, and Ella is the exact same vibe as Pai. I went to a place called Tomorrowland, which was around 1,000 a night, so that's about $10, and it wasn't so bad because it was like just the most amazing place I've ever been to ever. The train itself was around 60 rupees for 3rd class or 600 rupees for 2nd class. Don't do 3rd class because it sits right on the bend and you basically get battered back and forth the entire trip. So if you have like motion sickness or anything like that, you're gonna have a bad time. So just do the 600 rupees. It's like $4 to $3 or $4 to $6, and you get a better ride, right? And you can't really complain for like $4 to $6 anyways. Especially with the views. It was unbelievable. We went through the countryside, we went through the mountains, and you just can't get enough of this. You can get 1st class if you wanted for about 1,000, which is $10 Canadian, but I wouldn't recommend it. You don't really have to. 2nd class is perfectly good enough. The really cool thing about the train is that you can hang your head out the window, or you can sit at the doorway and just kind of watch all of the scenery as it passes you by. And I did that. I did both, actually, and it was magical. So if you're doing this, make sure to take the ride all the way from Kandy up to Ella. You will not be disappointed. So once I actually got to my hostel, Tomorrowland in Ella, I packed on all my stuff. Like I said, it was about 1,000 rupees or $10, and it sat in the mountains, basically on a cliffside. So every single morning, your views were just out of this world, guys. I stayed in a tent the entire time, which was even more magical. Then I headed out to Marissa for a couple nights. I'm actually still in Marissa now at one of the hostels here. It costs around 1,000 rupees, which is about $10, and I just kind of like wanted to relax for a little bit, kind of chill down. Now I'm actually on the beach, so I can go check out sunsets on the beach and surf and wakeboard and do all those kind of super fun things. I've got a couple more days here, and then I head off to India, so make sure you stay tuned, guys, because India is going to be crazy nuts. I'm going to be there for quite a little while. So that's going to be unreal. Anyways, guys, that was this week's video. I hope you liked it. Stay tuned. Make sure to check out my Thailand country video. Myanmar's coming out soon, and then Sri Lanka will be worked on in the next couple days here, so I can launch all three of them. You guys can check out each one of those countries that I've been to show what it's like to live life after transplant and why you should sign up to be an organ donor as well, to help people like me travel around the world or just live a life in general. Well, guys, that's it. No more talking from me. Pip pip cheerio. I'll see you next week. Bye!
Your life is free. You shouldn't be wasting time. Oh, won't you come with me?